Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the TED Talk, where we're going to having a journey through Istanbul and Cairo. We would like to put your questions into the DMs, and as soon as I'm finished with the talk, I'm trying to answer your questions. First of all, we're going to explore a little bit of Cairo, where I used to be during March till May last year. What you see here is the mosque of Abu al-Dahab, which is used to be an Ottoman vizier in Cairo. And what you see here is actually the whole complex, but also you see the structure here where you find the mausoleum, but also the graves and a mosque. This part is a wall at the grave, and I extracted some details here and started to redraw them. I started to split them up into colors. I wanted to know how the pattern works. I repeated them as they would look like if they are made seamlessly. So, and afterwards I tried to kind of discover and explore the pattern from a more joyful side, where it brings together actually all the elements which in complete make one part of a repetition, and when you repeat it you will have the huge pattern as you saw it before on the wall. Coming to the details of the pattern, it is unclear where the craftspeople worked for these certain kind of ceramic tiles, because they're not typically Ottoman tiles as you would suggest them to be found in mosques in Turkey or elsewhere in the Levant, namely saying Syria or Jordania. But the craft traveled across from Turkey to Cairo, and Cairo was a really wealthy city back then in the Middle Ages, but also was a colony of Turkey, which allowed the craft to travel from Iznik, which is a city located close to Istanbul, on the other side of the Marmara Sea, where this craft of making tiles actually developed, or started to develop in the 16th century due to actually the Ottoman family or the palace or the rulers, because they were in love with the tile as a medium, but also as a functioning protecting layer of the palace, because the palace, Topkapi Palace, is actually located, as the whole city of Istanbul, on the shore of the Marmara Sea, but also the Mediterranean Sea. So, going from that aspect on, tiles could have or had a functional aspect, but also a decorative. I now come to the place where I visited the church. We are back in Cairo, and I figured out that these kind of motifs, I found the same one in the grave we saw before. So the motif actually I came across was one time in a church and the other time in a Muslim grave, which I thought is really interesting though, because the fact that these craftspeople work for a church or a Christian institution, but also for Islamic institution, showed me that there was a connection between them, that there was a conversation between them, and that the craft was not solely for one religion. Another beautiful example is this Sabil Khutab. It's actually a school above, and Sabil means for free in Arabic. So here you see the Iznik tiles, or the really typical Turkish Iznik tiles. And the Sabil was a place where people could get water in times where a bathroom or having access to water was difficult. So mostly there was a kutab inside as well, which was the place where small children got first education in the Quran. So in these kind of timpana, it's that place where you have the door or somewhere a window and there's this arch. These tiles, these Ottoman tiles, got actually the building itself was out of the Mamluk period, which was before the Ottomans actually came to Cairo. So they actually added the tiles to a structure which was already standing. Here we are in the Blue Mosque of Cairo. This beautiful place has the most marvelous and elaborate Iznik, so-called Iznik tiles. From Turkey, probably from Turkey. I am still investigating with some of the documents from Topkapi Palace because they have a list of the suppliers and craftspeople where they exported the tiles as well. And probably the Blue Mosque, as you see it now, here is the mihrab, located direction of Mecca, of course. You see beautifully framed all these Iznik tiles, and what was interesting that I found the same pattern actually in Cairo, but also in the Yeni Cami in Eminönü in Istanbul, and they are identically, which means that not only the craft went from one place to the other, but also the aesthetic and the understanding and the symbolic meaning behind these flowers. And now we are in Istanbul, and you see it's exactly the same pattern as before in the Blue Mosque in Cairo. The technique is the same, the date probably is the same, you have similar motifs. This one is a beautiful example of typical Iznik tiles of the highest quality, which was found in the grave of Mehmed I. It's actually located at Sultan Ahmed, really close to the Blue Mosque, which has also really elaborate Iznik work. You see, not only it was used for script, but also you see a lot of floral motifs. All too, it was not allowed in Islamic religion to depict man or animal, so they more went into florals and they went into geometrical motifs, but also worked with other different script, for example, and the base of it, actually all of it is constructed through mathematical bases, fundamental. As you see here, this is a really simple motif from the Hobyar Jami. It's located in Sirkeci. It's a place in Istanbul where the mosque is actually close to the old main post of Istanbul, which is pretty famous in Istanbul and everybody knows it, but the mosque is not so known. But it's a beautiful example of neoclassical approach in architecture, but also in craft, because in these times, around like 1880, a lot of architects thought back to their rich heritage and wanted to revive the technique of Iznik tiles. And also, this is a beautiful example where you can find Iznik tiles, but made probably in Kütahya, which is close to Iznik and came up as a center of ceramics when Iznik actually went down in the production. The production went down because there was a lack of requests, but also lack of money, and the craftsmen soon disappeared, and the quality of the tiles went to a really bad state, which you see sometimes in some restoration projects, but also in more modern architectural structures, mosques, tombs, and so on. But also here, this shows actually the mathematical aspect behind just creating one pattern, a really simple pattern. And everything is based on logic, everything is based on lines. You know, you don't need a lot of crazy mathematics to do it. It's all about the golden ratio. You have some angles which you just mirror, you have mirror axis, and in the end, when you tie the whole wall, you have this beautiful pattern. I did that digitally. Normally, a lot of traditional Islamic art is made manually, analog. But I think to work, this is a program where it's normally for geometry. But also this helps me to sharpen the design, because this is mostly, the post work is done in Illustrator or other software, but to actually construct it, it's really helpful to do it in a program where you have the mathematical aspect as a prior design feature. So what really interested me about this journey is also that I came across these locations, but also that other people did this journey before. The craft did that journey before. For me to see also the interreligious exchange between the craftspeople, the religions, the techniques, the materials is something which I'm really interested in, because I think through interdisciplinary work, but also through talking with each other, having a conversation, a lot of beautiful things can happen. And for me, this journey of beauty is still going on, and I have deeply respect about their work, and I would like to encourage you as well to go for a journey to Istanbul, explore it by yourself, but also go on a journey to Cairo, and yeah, enjoy the beauty of it. Thank you very much for your attention. And